Good morning, dear brothers and sisters. It's Wednesday morning. It's overcast. It's raining a little bit, just a little drizzle, nothing major. We need it though. My province is dead center of Canada, and we rely heavily on farming. It was a very dry winter. More dry than normal anyways. So that being said, we need some moisture, so this is definitely a blessing for sure. So I woke up this morning to another email from YouTube, and they've taken another video down, which is the new normal, with no community guideline strikes, I might add. So I want to talk a little bit about that. I find that quite interesting because there's a lot of individuals out there in the truth community, and like a spectrum of us, like all over the place, but it's that common theme. And again, somebody will be able to say, well, that's because it's misinformation. So here's the thing. So these people that have these conversations with us, where are they getting their information from? And it's going to be the same thing. Scientists, guys, scientists. They're the ones. They went to school for all those years, and so that gives them the authority to actually say, you know what, I know more than you do. And you know what? Sure, yes, they've gone to school, they've studied certain things, but the information that they're studying, you guys, where are they getting that information from? They're only as smart as the information that they think is the truth. So how easy would it be, and here we go, let me just put on my tinfoil hat, you guys, for a group of individuals that are working for our enemy to have a bunch of information that needs to be rolled out so that it floods the masses with lies. Now, I'll say that most of it is probably pretty convincing to where even these scientists or doctors believe in it, because they're just like you and I. We're all children of the Father, you guys. So we're gonna all have a sense of discernment. It's just like anything. If you decide to practice that discernment, then you start to get better at it. You know, it's like the first time you jump on your bike. You know, you probably fall off a couple times, and then eventually you start getting your balance, you start getting your confidence, and next thing you know, you're riding your bike. So it's the same thing. So it's not like all of these people are completely blind and asleep. We are born with the ability to naturally connect to our Father, whether we know we're doing it or not, therefore giving us some sense of discernment, you guys. So when these scientists and doctors are doing their studies, I will guarantee you there comes a point where what they think they're doing is noble. I had a subscriber comment on the fact that they knew a scientist that was actually responsible for discovering that luciferase, and they were wondering if they thought that person, you know, was in on it the whole time. And I would say no, you guys. And again, I don't know because I wasn't there, so I'm not claiming like I know anything, but again, this is the point of this, you guys. We have discernment. Let's use it. Let's talk about it and you know, work these things out. But I believe a lot of these lower level you know, people that are given a task to do don't necessarily know what it is, because again, our enemy will tell us the truth 9 times to lie to us once, you guys. So that he'll make you think you're doing exactly what you should be doing. Meanwhile, the main goal is the lie. It is the false narrative that they're trying to push. And I will guarantee you, a lot of these people, like a lot of these doctors we're seeing, and a lot of the information that's coming out, it gets to a certain point where these people realize what they're doing is wrong. And I believe I see that a lot of times in Hollywood, you guys, in the music industry, where, you know, a lot of these people, and yes, you cannot get to where you need to go and get the power that you have without selling your soul. And that's the bottom line. And the act of selling your soul is willing to trade what you know is right and what is true for earthly things like money and houses and cars and you know, you're buying people. Nothing is real. And it's to the point where they eventually start realizing this, that this hole that they thought was being filled, and it probably was at that time, that little dopamine hit, just like old Facebook and those likes, just, it's like, they say that the Facebook like is the equivalent to a shot of heroin, you guys. It's hitting the same reaction in your body. It's giving you that boost of feeling good for a second. But what's the common denominator in all of that, you guys? It goes away. The love of our everlasting Father is exactly that. It's everlasting. It never goes away. So we're searching for this thing that you know, it's everybody just wants to be loved. They have this hole that wants to be filled. And so when they fill it with something, whether it's materialistic or whether it's anything, it works for a bit, but then it goes away. And that's the point of it. So I believe that these people, you know, they start off with noble intent, and they end up finding themselves in a situation where they start realizing the truth, and then they start pushing back because they start thinking, you know, what else do I have to lose? You know, I've already made a mistake. I know what the outcome is, and you're told what the outcome is the whole time throughout your career, whether it be, again, music industry, the sciences, and then eventually they disappear, you guys. That's just, how many times have you seen that story? This isn't me bringing doom and gloom and fear. This is something that we see every single day. And your primary example, and this is going to be probably a bad word to say on here, but Jeffrey Epstein. I think the whole world knows what happened to Jeffrey Epstein, which makes me kind of think, what really did happen to Jeffrey Epstein? One of two things: he's actually really gone, or he's on an island somewhere with a bunch of them. But needless to say, it doesn't matter. Everybody has to come to the Father and repent, or else there will be a consequence. There is repercussion, you guys. That's the way that it is. And I think, you know, these people and people in general get to a point where they feel like it's too far. I've gone too far, or you're told you've gone too far. But it's never too late, you guys. The only time that it's going to be too late is when you've decided to take that mark of the beast, and then you've pledged your allegiance. But for every generation that's been before us, it was never too late up until death. And think about Barabbas on the cross beside Yahushua. Saved right at the last second, you guys. These aren't just stories. Nothing in the Bible is without direct purpose of teaching you a lesson. And I mean everything. Every jot, every tittle is in there for purpose to teach you that this life has meaning and there is a reason behind everything. So right up until your last breath, you guys, you can be saved. Now, I'm not saying go your life sinning and continuing to do that sin over and over again, knowing that you can ask for forgiveness for that at that last second, because that's not how it works. And he wouldn't let it get that far. Because as soon as you know the truth, you guys, you can never go back. As soon as you come out of your shell and you look at the world and you're unplugged from that matrix and you're looking at it for the first time, you cannot go back in. You cannot be replugged. So these individuals that are, you know, trying to do what they think is the right thing, unfortunately, you know, is pushing an agenda forward. And all we can do for them is pray, you guys. Pray that they do see the light. They repent, ask for forgiveness, and try to do the right thing without repercussion. Because I know a lot are probably thinking that their life is on the line, but what's the point of having your life, and especially threatened, if your afterlife, your forever life, is in a place where you better bring your sunscreen, you guys. So the purpose of this, give up your life here on this fleshly, earthly plane that honestly at the end of the day is here strictly to learn lessons and to figure out how to do the right thing, and not only do the right thing but do it consistently every day. And then when you finally figure out how to do that every day consistently, then you start teaching other people how to do it. just by being who you are, just by being that example, by them looking at you and going, what does that person have? They have something that I want. They don't know what it is. They can't figure it out. And then they sit down with you, they start talking to you, and then they start to realize that you're a person of faith. And now that enemy's going to swoop in and tell them, oh, this person's crazy. Don't listen to them. What they have to say is insane. But then it doesn't matter, because they're all built with the same thing that we're all built with, you guys. And that's discernment, to understand our Father and to see our Creator and understand who He is for who He is. Because as soon as they get to see a glimpse of it and have an understanding that this is what is going on, you got them. And that's why we're all fishers of men, you guys. We just got to use the right bait. So I saw on television here this morning, my wife had the news on, and it's you know what, again, I'm not promoting the news, but if you can start seeing information for what it actually is, then you really start getting a good understanding on how to read it. And the equivalent of that, or the easiest way to explain it, is the movie Men in Black. How they would go to the magazine stand and read the most absurd, obscure magazines like the Inquirer to get their truth. So think about that. That is the truth right there, hiding in plain sight, you guys. So when it comes to the enemy and the people that are working for him, whatever they say is truth, it's usually the opposite. And then they'll sprinkle in the actual truth, because that's how their pride and arrogance work. That's how they give sacrifice to their God, little g, by mocking us, by telling us in advance. It's a part of the ritual, you guys. They want to catch us by surprise. They want to catch us in a false sense of security where we actually have hope and faith. It means the most to them not to be scared. So I saw on the news today, they were talking, and again, it's a common theme I'm starting to see, you guys, and then eventually when you start seeing all these pieces, like I said before, they're all kind of sitting on that table, and then you start understanding, okay, yeah, this piece goes here, this piece goes here, but it was really pointing to blood. They want DNA. They're looking, and what was on the news today was about them trying to find the antibodies to find out who's immune. Now let's think about being immune to something, you guys. Do you think that's science and by chance? And if you're a true believer of the Father, do you believe that that is by chance? Nothing is by chance, you guys. Nothing is by chance. Nothing is coincidence. Everything was with purpose, and everything is with design, including being immune to something, you guys. So they're looking for people. That is fact. We can tell that. They're looking for someone. Who are they looking for, you guys? What and who are they looking for? Well, I'm going to tell you. The goal is to find us, you guys. That's the bottom line. As it states in Revelation, we will lose our life for believing in Yahushua HaMashiach. So it makes complete logical and spiritual sense that they're looking for us. That's the end goal, is finding a way, finding a system to be able to find out who we are. Now, I don't say this and I don't speak this message with any kind of fear or for you to worry. And if you do, you need to pray on that, because that's not of the Father. Fear is not of Him, it's of the enemy. Have no fear. So when we walk forward here, guys, and you understand what's happening, just remember, at the end of the day, our Father decides what happens to your life. And if it's your time, it's your time. Awesome. Your ticket has just been punched to the greatest, most imaginable place that you can think of. And that's with our Father, living with Him. He lives with us now. With us. We're in Him. He's in us. These are His temples. And we have to remember that. So any decision that He decides to put on us going forward, it's because it is with purpose. And we are all so instrumental and important to what's happening going forward, but you need to embrace that and understand that that's what it is. So pick up your cross, you guys. I don't want this message to come across as being forceful at all. I just want you to see the passion in it, because this is all very important. We need to start gathering our people bringing people back to Israel, you guys. The spiritual Israel, not the literal. So we need to start gently grabbing our fellow brothers and sisters, and I'm going to preach this until the last breath I take, but we need to gently grab the hands of fellow brothers and sisters and start leading them to that knocking door. Because we all have an integral part of this mission, you guys. The Father has a plan, and He wants you to be a part of it. But if we decide that we don't want to be a part of it, He will find somebody else. At the end of the day, He does not need us, you guys, but He wants us. He loves us, wants us to be a part of it. So adhere to the call, you guys. Pick up the phone, open the door, invite Him in for supper. So I hope this reaches just one of you, you guys, just one. That's the whole point of this. You know, I feel so blessed. There's 400 of us here, you guys. And again, it's about the one. It's not about the 400. It's not about the 100,000, not about the 500,000. And Father willing, wherever this decides to go, that's in His hands, not mine. So I want to thank you for taking the time. I just want to say I love you because you're amazing. Today's your day, you guys. Let's push this thing forward. Let's pick up our crosses. Let's continue to march forward towards the end goal, you guys. So I love you. I hope you have the best day you've ever had in your life. I pray that the Father puts His hands of protection around you. He loves you, you guys. He's your best friend. He's your Father. He's there every second of every moment of every day, like right now, sitting beside you, watching you. So again, take care. Father willing, I'll do another one, and we'll chat soon. I love you guys.